Alright, so this is the first verse of the Sankhya Darshanam. Trivida Dukkaha Atyanta Nivritti Atyanta Purusharthaha. There are three types of pains whose ultimate removal leads to pure bliss. That is the English translation of the Sanskrit verse. The three types of pain. So in Sankhya Darshanam, pain is basically categorized into three types. I'll write it down. One is, they call it Adi Bhautika. Adi Daivika. And the other is Adhyatmika. So Adi Bhautika is basically pain that you get from external sources. Adhyatmika is internal source. Adi-daivika is when it is a mixture of both and you exactly don't know how. I'll explain to you the situation here. You have a person. Then I'll break down a couple of things. You are basically called Atma. I know Atma goes to soul and stuff like that, but for now, the basic understanding is as follows. You, the person, are going to be given a word called Atma. Like, it is not the body, it is what you call I. What you identify yourself as. Whatever you think of yourself, whatever... It is also the level of consciousness that you have. Whatever you are aware of yourself. There is a level of consciousness you have, and it is aware of itself. There is something, you look yourself in the mirror, you call that is you. Whatever you call I is Atma. However you identify yourself as. The fact that you know that you are there, the fact that you know that you exist, that is Atma. So, Atma. Now, Jivatma and Paramatma. Atma. Two concepts in understanding Sankhya Darshan. So you're here, you and something else outside of you. You are basically called Jivatma. This something which is not you is Paramatma. And Atma is basically a word that is actually attached to every single object in Hinduism. That is, the chair has an Atma. The chair is existing, hence the fact that it can exist is represented by saying it has Atma. That is it. If something can exist, the fact that it is existing is represented by the word Atma. So chair has an Atma, the house has an Atma, you have an Atma, everyone and everything that can exist, that is existing, has an Atma. Jiva Atma is that which is alive, which has Atma. So that which is existing, which is alive, Jiva, is to be alive, is Jivatma. Parama is something that is above you, something that is not you, that is beyond you. So physical boundary issues. You and physically whatever that is outside you existing is called Paramatma. And you are called Jivatma. So if you are sitting in a chair, you are Jivatma. The chair is basically called Paramatma. The floor is Paramatma. Air in front of you is Paramatma. Random bacterial cells in the air are also Paramatma. And everything that is not you is Paramatma. Like you have a system is you. Surroundings is Paramatma. System is Jivatma. Alright? That is the definition. Alright, Jivatma, Paramatma. Okay, so I'll also explain this. Pain, Adi Bhautika, Adi Daivika, Adi Atmika. So now what happens is, now there is this Jivatma, there is this person, there is you. If you get hurt by something that is not yourself, basically you're not self-hurting, no self-harm, you are walking and somebody slapped you, you crashed into a car, external sources, pain because of external sources, someone is slapping you, someone is beating you up, someone is hating on you, they're scolding you, someone breaks up with you, it's called adibautika. Basically you're getting hurt because of something which is not you. Hence adibautika, external sources. Now pain can be because of someone else, pain can be because of your own self. You're thinking about something and you're getting hurt, you're dwelling upon a particular matter and that is hurting you. That is adhyatmika, internal source. You yourself are causing the pain. Adidaivika is basically when you don't really know why you're getting hurt. That's it. It's a state of confusion. Adidaivika is a mixture of both, actually. You're getting hurt because of yourself, you're also getting hurt because of other people, and you don't really know, you can't really pin down what's going on. That's Adidaivika. For example, someone hurt you in the past, and you're thinking about it right now. Two things. The fact that someone hurt you hurts, but because you're dwelling on it right now, you're also inflicting pain to yourself by dwelling on it. I'm not saying that you should not think about it, but you must understand, if you are thinking that someone has hurt you in the past, you will be getting hurt in the present by thinking about it continuously. So now, the point is, when such is the situation that you're thinking about the past, but you're doing it in the present, you're also getting hurt because of your own self by the contemplation that you are doing. And you're also getting hurt because of the fact that someone has hurt you in the past. Just because you're getting hurt does not mean it is wrong. Pain is not wrong. Pain is just one of the many emotions that a human mind experiences. Alright, so Adidaivika is a mixture of both. It's also a state of confusion. When you don't know what is hurting you. Okay, that comes under the Adidaivika portion. So what do we take home right now? 5 words. One is we take home Adibautika, Adidaivika, Adhyatmika. These are 3 kinds of pain. Now, how do you linger around in Sankhya darshan? Basically, you are Jivatma. Everything that is not you is Paramatma. Now, what is Atma? Atma, basically a word describing the fact of existence. So this is Atma. It is a word that describes that you exist. Ignore my spelling mistakes for now. I'm sorry about that. So moving on to the next topic, but you need to understand Atma. It's a concept, a word that describes the fact of existence. Jivatma, Paramatma, Adibautika, Adidaivika, and Adhyatmika. Now, having these 5 words, we can enter the next the first verse. The 3 types of pain which do exist. This is the 3 types. But now, there is a different approach also in Hindu philosophy, which goes into insight. Pain is of 3 types when you express them, but in understanding, in solving it, it is again of 3 types. This is now solving pain. If you look at this line over here, there are 3 types of pain whose ultimate removal leads to pure bliss. Now, there are 3 types of pain. That is what I have described here. Now, the removal itself is in 3 types, which is what I'm going to talk about right now. The solving of pain, the removal, is of 3 types. One is rajas, other is tamas, other is sattva. I'll start with sattva. Sattva basically means clear, transparent. It is / the mind, critical thinking. So it's a kind of transparency that comes by clarity. It's not transparent as in the water of a pond. It is a kind of transparency that comes in the mind. That's why it's clarity. That ultimately it's clarity. Clarity leads to transparency of the mind. Clarity leads to critical thinking. Clarity makes things clear, and that is sattva. It starts fundamentally from clarity, and then it goes to a state of transparency. It goes to the mind. It goes to critical thinking, but it is not being transparent. Like, you can't use sattva as a word and say the pond is sattva. No. The pond is not transparent. That is not the transparency that sattva speaks of. Sattva speaks of the transparency that comes because of clarity from the mind. Now, if you want to solve something, you can think about it. You can ask, oh, why is someone hurting me? You can question. When you question, when you debate, when you write down your thought process into, a little journal sort of thing, you, by logical steps, clear your pain. Why is someone hurting me? What is their behavior? What is my behavior? What can I do to reduce this pain? Mostly, by just understanding why people are hurting you, your pain goes down. That is sattva. By answering things through logical thinking. Okay. There's something called rabbit. So rabbit is gym. Rabbit is basically when I'm working, you use the gym. Very simple. Rabbit is energy. Using energy physically. That's what. Very simple. You go gym, you work out, you come back, you feel better. You draw something, you feel better. You're not fundamentally thinking. You're expending your energy into everything but thinking. You're going to cook, you're going to draw, you're going to go to the outfit, you're going on a long drive, you're going to the movies, you're doing an activity. You're spending your energy on an activity and reducing your pain henceforth. But you're not thinking about the problem, you're not writing down the problem, you're not solving the problem in logical human behavioral steps. You're doing something else, you're doing an activity. If it's an activity, then you're solving it through the method of logic. If you're thinking through the problem, you're writing down solutions, you're analyzing human behavior, and you're getting clarity on human behavior. It is through the method of sattva. Samas is very, very interesting. Samas is pure belief. Samas basically works like this. Samas means that you fundamentally will now, it's aura following actually. Samas basically means that you will believe now that nothing can hurt you. It's like if someone comes and hurts you, it's going to be that I only get hurt if I think about it. If I fundamentally can't believe that you can hurt me, then I am not hurt. It is to say that you individuals have a certain amount of pain and you have a certain amount of happiness. It is to say, no matter the pain inflicted upon you, you have more happiness than the pain. Every day you have more happiness than you have pain. Hence, totality, you have happiness. It's very belief-based system. Someone comes and yells at you, but fundamentally you're like, see, you can yell at me. You can say whatever you want to say, but I still have it in me to laugh. I still can actually go around. I still can get out of this house, go for a walk, and look at the sun, smile at the sky, come back home. You can't fundamentally hurt me. But you see, that's not going to the gym. That's not actually listening to music. That's not sitting down and writing notes. That's a very different behavior. The man who goes to the gym because he got the break, because he got break, he's actually not thinking that he's not hurt. He is thinking his girlfriend left him. He is heartbroken. He is actually going to gym because he is in pain. But Tamas doesn't work like that. The method of Tamas is basically that you can't hurt me. No matter the hurt you give me, no matter the pain you impose upon me, I am in more happiness every day. I'm just more capable of being happy than the level at which you give me pain. I'm just more capable every day. You can hurt me, but I have it in me to immediately go out of the house, to immediately go out of the room, to immediately go to a park and smile. Actually, rather than me to sit down and relax. It's that simple. My body actually can change. Calmness behavior is a behavior where you understand that even if you are in pain, if someone cracks a joke, biologically you will smile. It is to understand that the biology of the body is such of stimulus and response. If someone gives you a stimulus, you respond. So the man who believes in the Thomas way of life will say, you have yelled at me and I've reacted so. If someone speaks nice to me, then I will react so. There is nothing so powerful about you that I am hurt. There is no greatness in you that can hurt me. It is simply that you are yelling at me. What can I do? My biology is made to be sensitive. I am human. I am sensitive. Of course, I will cry if you shout at me. It will hurt if you're slapping me. But fundamentally, you're not dangerous. You're not evil. You're not a devil. You're not what you think you are. Is something. People come, people bully people, and they believe they're bad for bullying. They believe they're monstrous, they're bigger, they're powerful. Actually, that is how it works. People hurt people to feel powerful. But then the man of Thomas comes and says, you are not powerful for power. In Hindu philosophy, again, I use structure, beauty. Power is beautiful. Everything that is arranged is powerful. You can't get energy from something that is not ordered and structured. And when something is so structured and ordered, it's beautiful. Power comes from nature. And nature is very ordered. Nature is very structured, very beautiful, by the way. So that is the definition of power taken by Thomas people. And they do say, you're not powerful for hurting me. Then there is this concept, right, that someone comes and slaps you, and then he thinks he has an extraordinary ability to slap you, that he is more powerful than you. But no, it is simply that, I'll tell you the difference. It is not that the person who is slapping you is capable of slapping you, and you fundamentally feel smaller to him, and then you get hurt. That's actually how hurt works. That you are slapped by someone, and you feel smaller to that person in the level of existence. Like, you suddenly start feeling like an ant when someone hurts you. In a smaller or larger scale, that's actually how it works. If you feel equal, you can't get hurt. But you are equal. You are not bacteria. He is human, so are you. So you are equal. You fundamentally have all the biology he has. So why is it? Why is he so powerful? He lifts his hand. You also can lift your hand. You also can impart pain to that person. How much pain he feels is upon him, but you can impart pain. If being powerful is the ability of imparting pain, then both of you are equally powerful. Both of you impart pain. If just alone imparting pain, no matter the magnitude of the pain, makes a person powerful, then everybody can impart pain. Even an ant imparts pain. In that sense, everybody is powerful. But in the same sense, no one is powerful. The fact that someone can come and hurt you. So there's this person, he hurts this other person. It's important. I know I'm drawing stick figures, but it's a bit important. He imparts hurt. Also, they say. But is this not just a reaction to what he has done? Breaking everything down to a reaction and not a societal situation. Nothing about him is that scary. If anybody, it's like this. It is not about you, but it is about the act. Bringing the man down to the act. Even if a baby slaps me, it is actually going to hurt. I don't need a 6'5" man to slap me for me to be in pain. I can have a child kicking me in the stomach, and it will hurt. So nothing fundamentally specific or unique about the 6'5" man. Nothing about him. Even tomorrow, a mosquito can come and bite me, and it hurts. Giving pain does not make you powerful, because everything gives me pain. There is pain everywhere. So that is the ideology of the person who follows Thomas. Hence they say that this act gives me pain. You are not giving me pain. You are not powerful. And in the ability of saying this sentence allows them to also be happy. They say, one act has been done upon me. I can do another act upon myself. I can. If I can be stimulated to cry, then I can be stimulated to laugh. Hence I go towards laughter, even if you give me pain. Hence you can't ever make me believe that I will be in pain. So that is the ideology of Thomas. Now, that is one way of how things are solved in Hindu culture. Now, though today culture has become something else, again, we will have a different lecture series on what has become of India, how did history change India and shape its culture, but as far as the original Hindu belief system is considered, that is tamas. While sattva, on the other hand, is basically a pen and paper, sitting down. What is making this man want to talk to me in a rude fashion? Did something happen to him? Is this how every man will behave? Or maybe every woman will behave? Is it a human behavior? Would an animal also do this to me if the same has been caused upon him? Take a lion, put the lion in his house, raise the lion the way the man has been raised. Would the lion also come be rude to me? That's the sattva way of thinking. It's all thinking. It's pen, paper, bunch of points, write them down. And then you come to conclusions and you're very happy with those conclusions. That's the sattva way. I explained tamas. Rajas is usually what people do. Just don't think about anything, get out, do some work. It's not distraction. It isn't actually distraction. People who can't think, people who can't believe, it isn't an incapacity or an inability that you're doing this. The fact that some people can't think also means they have other ways of becoming better than yesterday. The Rajas method is only applied by people who are physically capable with the body, more than they are with the mind. But that doesn't mean that it is an issue. Let me clarify myself. If a person of the Rajas nature gets hurt, he or she will be more capable of producing more art, more work. They have it in them to emotionally utilize all that sadness into something else. Rajas people are more emotional. Tamas are fundamentally more spiritual, also confident. And people are sort of basically more of the logical thinking side. The people who do sattva don't think emotionally, they think without emotion. So take an emotional person, for example, let's talk about the Rajas part of the group. Take a very emotional person. He feels really sad. He can make wonderful artwork. He feels really sad. He puts his emotions into martial arts that he wants to do, into the body that he wants to make in the gym. He is shaped by his pain. They can make music, they can make art, they can literally, make architectural designs representing their faith, philosophy, and pain. It doesn't make them less or anything like that. It's just a different kind of beauty, but that needs to be understood. Some people can't think, they can only express. They can only flow, they can only dance, they can only sing, they can only make music, they can only paint. They can't actually think and write things down. They can't do that. That is not how they live their lives. And some people can only think. Some people can only write. They can only debate. They can only sit down and ask 4 questions and get 4 answers. And some people, on the contrary, can fundamentally believe that no matter what you do, you can't hurt them. And people have issues with such people, by the way. They don't like the fact that they believe that nothing can hurt them. And every day, millions of people want to prove that they can be hurt. But people of tamas nature say, you can't hurt me. It's just not possible, because biologically, whatever can stimulate me to cry, the fact that there exists something that can make me cry, its opposite also exists. I'll just go find it. So, people don't like people of tamas nature. Fundamentally, they don't. At least in India, I have seen that a lot of people don't like people who can't be hurt. Everybody wants everybody to get hurt here, by the way. So, this is how solving the pain works. So, in either way, this is the first verse of Sankya darshanam. There are 3 types of pain, but there are also 3 types of removal methods. That is what it is, the 3 types of pain and the 3 types of ways to remove it. And that leads to pure bliss. These are the types of pain. This is methods in which Hindus remove it. and you are Jivatma, and everything that is not you is Paramatma. These two words fundamentally are very important because that's the vocabulary that we use, the terminology that is going to be used to explain every single darshan in Hindu philosophy. Even if you take Yoga Darshan, Nyaya Shastra, anything that you are going to take, this is going to be important because it is you. Everything is acted upon you. Everything is done upon you. Whether you are doing it, whether someone else is doing it, it is done on you, that which is alive. If you are dead, how does it matter? It matters because you are alive. What is done on you matters because it hurts, because you laugh, because you can fall in love and you can also fall out of it. Now, everything that does this on you, whether that be alive or not, is Paramatma. If it isn't alive, then maybe people are using a medium through which they can impart something on you. People act on you. One acts on the other. Through a medium, or through a language, or through an object, or through emotion. People act on people. Now that is the core of Sankhya Darshan. What happens when you are acted upon is the essence of Sankhya Darshan. What happens when you are acted upon? Alright, that is it for this lecture. Every lecture will have one verse. Mostly Sankhya has around 120 verses, around something like that. So 120 lectures and you will be done with Sankhya Darshan. Thank you.